Abels. 5 News reporter Parker Abels is picking up our coverage now in Lincoln, where tonight's storms brought strong winds that damaged some homes. And Parker, how do things look out there right now in Lincoln?
Yeah, Darren, I'm out here by at a ranch. If you were watching the show earlier when I was on, I talked about a bunch of debris everywhere on fences. I was about, I want to say, 400 yards to my right over there, but I found the source here. It's a ranch here, and it's torn up. I was talking to somebody over here, and I'll step out of the way so you guys can see a little bit, and we'll get a little closer later on in the show. But I talked to someone. There was a couple people here on property when the storm hit. They hid in a shelter. I walked through the little shelter. They were in a bathroom, but they did report no casualties, no injuries, so that is some great news there. But it is torn up. There's the roof is all over the place. There's trees down. Just a lot of rebuilding here coming up over the next few weeks, few months even. We're right behind Lincoln High School. Lincoln High School is about less than a quarter mile away from here, right behind it. If it was daylight, we would be able to see the football field from where we're at. But like I said, no casualties, no injuries reported here. We're going to gather a little bit more information coming up here later on in the show. Get you some closer looks here as we work to learn exactly more what this is, who owns it and stuff like that. But Darren, for now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Parker, thanks. In the River Valley, we've had several reports of water rescues after the storms led to flash flooding in the most flood-prone areas of Sebastian County. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer picks up our team coverage now with the latest from River Valley. Lauren, where are you and what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Darren, here we are on Towson Avenue, and like you said before in our live stream, this is an area that is very, very flood prone in the area. So let's take a look here. This is what we're looking at here. Look at very, very flooded right here. Look, this person's actually driving around the big puddle. Didn't want to avoid that splash zone. Go ahead and go. We're going to start driving down Towson now. And just a few minutes ago, we did see a water rescue here on Towson Avenue in Phoenix. There was a few emergency responders here trying to rescue that car from the flooded area. It took them a pretty good amount of time. Emergency officials are still asking you to please not drive around the barricades they might put up for these water rescues. I spoke with Travis Cooper, Sebastian County Emergency Manager. He told me there's been about 5 water rescues in Fort Smith tonight due to vehicles stalling in these low-lying areas that we know Fort Smith is really prone to. And like Darren and Scott said during our live stream, we saw pretty much a big cloud, almost like a apparent tornado in Fort Smith, but emergency officials are telling me they're not really seeing too much damage here, actually no actual damage. I spoke to Travis earlier. He said right now but due to flooding, there's about 8 county roads impassable and 4 state roads near impassable due to flooding throughout the county, but no injuries reported. We're going to continue to monitor conditions here in the River Valley and send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Lauren, thanks. That is remarkable. Not a lot of damage to report after those storms, at least in Sebastian County. And Greenland, people are assessing damage after the tornado-warned storm system moved through the area there. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi has been in Greenland this last couple of hours, joining us now with an update on what kind of damage you're seeing there, Jacob.
Yeah, Darren, we are right here on West Partridge Drive and North Caleb Drive, right on the corner here in Greenland. The I-49 is to our west. Earlier, we were by the Drake Airport. That was to our east. But we are right in the debris path that we saw earlier on radar. And if you could take a look, we are at this house right now. That seems to be the worst that we have seen get hit. Their entire roof is off this building. I was just talking to the owners here, and they were explaining to me that they said they really couldn't give me a time as to when this hit, but they said they ran to their hallways to try to make sure that they stayed safe. I was talking to the owners of this property. They say they were here with their kids. One of the stepmothers were here. There's a lot of people inside the garage right now just talking, but this is what we've seen so far. The entire side of this roof here, as you can see, I'm not sure if we can get it, but you can just see this entire roof is just taken off. The brick is laying all over the floor right in front of the house. Luckily, when I was talking to the owners, they said that no one was hurt, and that's definitely the good news that so far that we've been hearing, not only here, but the damage that we were seeing also over by the airport. Just talking to people, they said that they were hurt, and I've figured out over there, a lot of people, in talking to people over by the airport over there in Greenland, a lot of people were at work, and they were, that line of cars that we saw earlier, those were a lot of people trying to get home from work to make sure that their property was okay. But you can see just the destruction that this storm did. There's a tree over here, Alex, I'm not really sure if you can see that, but that tree is completely down. Luckily, fell opposite side of their house. I know, seeing the damage that we just saw right now, but that we're lucky that this tree fell over on this side and did not add to the problems that this family has been facing. But yeah, we have just been, this is pretty much the worst we've seen. We've seen some fences down over here as well, but this is the damage right here. Again, we're in Greenland. We've been driving around, a lot of tree damage all over this area. But I'm gonna go ahead and send it back to you. That's pretty much what we've been seeing. Gonna go and try to talk to the family, and just to check up on them and make sure that they're still okay.
Okay, all right, Jacob, thanks. Let's talk about some power outages now. We've seen these numbers increase as the evening has progressed. Quite a few power outages in Washington County. I can tell you that in Washington County, there's about 20,529. Actually, that's actually dropped a little bit. 23,732 in Washington County. In Madison County, about 7,200 customers are without power tonight. About 800 customers in Carroll County. What's remarkable, there in Franklin County, 1,100 customers, but in Sebastian County, about 1,300. That number we thought was going to be a lot higher after what we saw come through at least the southern part of Sebastian County. That number still could go up, but really surprised that the number isn't higher than that in Sebastian County. And then I believe that is in Scott County right below there. Some numbers coming in, about 353 customers are without power. Now, before the storms moved in tonight, we were talking with Ozark Electric Cooperative about its plans for even more storms. Take a listen.
We're adopting a major outage protocol. We do have as many crews as needed just to take care of any restoration efforts that need to take place. We will have crews dispatched around the clock to make sure that we can get our members power as quickly and effectively as possible. We will be running crews around the clock and have individuals ready if we do have any additional power outages because of the anticipated storms tonight.
You can follow all of our coverage on this week's severe weather outbreak with the free 5 News app.